Assalamu alaikum friends and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Sikandar Kori. So let's start our topic. Today in this video we are going to talk about the anatomy and physiology of pituitary gland. So pituitary gland, also called hypophysis, is a pea-sized structure usually 1 centimeter in diameter and about 0.5 to 1 gram in weight. And if we look at the mid-sagittal section of the brain, we see pituitary gland at the base of the brain. And if we zoom in this area, we have pituitary gland. This is the pituitary gland, also called hypophysis, and this pituitary gland is connected with the hypothalamus through the infundibulum stalk, which usually contain nerves. So the hypothalamus is the connecting link between the nervous and endocrine system of the body. This pituitary gland is located in the pocket of sphenoid bone at the base of the brain. And we have the arterial blood supply in the pituitary gland. Now this gland has two lobes. Anterior lobe toward the front of the head, also called adenohypophysis, and posterior lobe toward the back of the head, also called neurohypophysis. Hypothalamus contain neurosecretory cells or neurons, and this group of neurons which run through the infundibulum into the posterior lobe are called magnocellular neurons, and the cell bodies of these neurons forms the supraoptic nuclei and paraventricular nuclei in the hypothalamus. The word nuclei is usually used for the collection of cell bodies of the neurons within the central nervous system. So it is these nuclei, especially the supraoptic nuclei, where the synthesis of antidiuretic hormone and the oxytocin hormone occur, and these hormones travel down the axons of magnocellular neurons and stored in their terminal ends. Other group of neurons which originate in different nuclei of the hypothalamus terminate in the arterial blood supply structure known as media and eminence, and these capillaries carry these hypothalamic hormones to the anterior lobe of the pituitary gland where they stimulate endocrine cells. And now we talk about the physiology of pituitary gland. So we have hypothalamus, anterior lobe of the pituitary gland, also called adenohypophysis, and posterior lobe of the pituitary gland, also called neurohypophysis. So now hypothalamus produces relieving and inhibiting hormones which regulate the secretions of the adenohypophysis hormones, and these hormones are called regulatory hormones which either cause the stimulation or inhibition of the anterior pituitary hormones. So anterior lobe of the pituitary gland produce its own hormones. Upon stimulation from the hypothalamus, anterior lobe of the pituitary gland synthesize and secrete adenocorticotropic hormones which stimulate the cortex of the adrenal gland to synthesize and secrete cortisol in the blood. Endocrine cells of the anterior lobe also synthesize and secrete thyroid stimulating hormone which targets the thyroid gland of the body. Anterior lobe of the pituitary gland also produce gonadotropic hormone which include follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormones, and both of these hormones stimulate the ovaries in the females and testes in male individuals. Anterior lobe of the pituitary gland also produce another hormone known as growth hormone, also called somatotropin, and this hormone affects the growth of the bone and other soft tissues in the body. Other hormone known as prolactin is produced from the anterior lobe, and this hormone is essential for the production of milk in the mammary gland of females. So now nuclei in the hypothalamus produces both antidiuretic hormone and oxytocin, and these hormones travel down the axons of magnocellular neurons and stored in their terminal ends. Upon stimulation from the central nervous system, these hormones are released in posterior lobe. So posterior lobe do not produce its own hormone. So posterior lobe of the pituitary gland release antidiuretic hormone in the blood whose main function is water retention. It particularly targets the kidneys, and in that the kidney tubules where the retention of the water takes place. So posterior lobe of the pituitary gland also secrete oxytocin hormone which targets the breast where it is essential for the lactation and also important for the contraction of uterine smooth muscles during the childbirth. So this is all about our today's topic. Thank you for watching our video, and please like, share and subscribe to our channel.